Welcome to AM Sports Cover 4, where we cover college football. And Jay, this is our inaugural video. So I'm happy that we have set this up because this is one of two passions that we have and definitely want to go into this very quickly. So let's jump into it. ESPN is set to extend their contract with the College Football Committee all the way to 2031 for an estimated 7.8 billion. 7.8 billion. That's what it'll be. And it's interesting, Jay, because I was always under the impression that the college football playoffs would be split between both ESPN and Fox moving forward. And Fox was set to make a hefty bid on the college football playoff. We know that it's moving forward from 4 teams to 12. I think they still have a vote that they have to, ratify in terms of making sure that they move forward with that. But at the end of the day, I really thought that Fox was going to be involved with this. And I was hoping that Fox was going to be involved with this for 2 reasons. Well, actually, one main reason I'm going to focus on. And that is what I saw at the end of 2023, the absolute injustice that was done to Florida State, the Florida State University, the Florida State Seminoles. Yes, I am a Florida State Seminole. And yeah, okay. Anyway, so with that being said, we saw what ended up happening with the commission. I think when you think about ESPN and the fact that they are in bed with the SEC, they have a vested interest in the SEC as well as a conflict of interest as it relates to the SEC.
I get you that.
And so at the end of the day, regardless, they went outside of what we had seen as the norm since the college football playoffs have been in existence, which was to give the 4 most deserving teams the opportunity to play in the playoffs. Not the 4 best. That was never the case. It was always the most deserving. And so now when you think about the fact that they're going to have exclusive rights to the college football playoffs, who's to say that they're not going to allow the SEC to influence them further, such that now you have, I don't know, out of the 12 teams, 8 of the teams are damn SEC teams. Like, who's to say that now? I mean, there's really no rule. I mean, the way that the College Football Committee currently have their rules set up, there's an opportunity to do essentially whatever it is that they want. So I have some real concerns around the fact that the College Football Committee has extended to the to ESPN and allowed them to further their stranglehold on college football. In reality, you would want to have those games spread out across multiple platforms and not be in bed with just one entity, is my thought. But Jay, what are you thinking in regards to this news that ESPN is extending their relationship, their exclusive relationship with the College Football Committee?
See, the thing I don't like about it, I'd rather be like college basketball. When March Madness comes, it's like on 5 different networks you're watching those games. Up until all the way down to the Final Four, then the finals is on one network. I don't like ESPN having just exclusivity on this because I'm kind of bitter, just like you are, about them the way they've been pretty much SEC homers.
Yep.
Once SEC got that big ass deal with ESPN, you saw the way the voting kind of looked like it swayed a little bit, and it was always one-sided. Although most of the conferences were top heavy, it wasn't just everyone. The SEC was just Alabama. The always stranglehold was always Alabama and LSU and usually Georgia. It was usually those 3 teams, and then every now and then you might throw Auburn in there. Then Auburn get knocked out by LSU or Alabama. But I don't like them all going under ESPN now. The only good thing about it, it might be equal, a little more equal, with everyone being under their umbrella. But we know the SEC is the biggest brand out of all the conferences, the way they're marketed. So they're still gonna get the lion's share of everything, so they're going to get the benefit of the doubt almost every time, I feel. This is no knock against Bama, because Bama's a damn good team. Georgia's a damn good team. LSU, but, just like other conferences, they're top heavy. It's just only going to be a few teams. So if this 12-team playoff comes out next year, when they get it finalized and everything, and we see 8-10 teams of the SEC in there, we're going to know what the jig is going to be up on that. it's going to be too late because they already have everything. It's going to go wherever ESPN wants it to go, and it shouldn't be like that. Just let the kids line up and play. Now to your point about y'all getting snubbed, y'all got snubbed. Oh, well. Build a bridge, get over it.
Anyway, yes, they're absolutely Florida State got snubbed. And but that, to me, the reason why I focus on the fact that Florida State got snubbed is because it's a prime example of what could actually happen, and that's the concern. And if I'm the Big Ten commissioner, I'm concerned about this. How many of my teams are going to get in there? If I'm the ACC or I'm the Pac, the Big 12, I'm concerned about my opportunity to play in the college football playoffs, right? And we're talking about what now. There is the notion, or at least there have been conversations between the SEC and the Big Ten in terms of joining forces to basically control college football, the college football playoffs, right? And really to break off from really what the NCAA is doing. Now that could potentially offset that, but still, I mean, at the end of the day, there's still a relationship between ESPN and the SEC. And if I'm the Big Ten, regardless, I'm concerned about that. Regardless of what pact we're creating with the SEC, I'm concerned about the relationship there, because how do I know that this won't play into some of my teams getting in there? Maybe it's not going to affect your Ohio States or your Michigan, but tell me this: after Ohio State and Michigan, what's the infallible power brand in the Big Ten? It's not Penn State. I know they're getting Oregon. What about Washington? What about UCLA? Maybe USC? But even USC is not infallible at this point. To me, the only two that's guaranteed to get in from the Big Ten would be Michigan and Ohio State.
Ohio State.
Yeah, so some of your other brands could absolutely be affected by this relationship between ESPN and SEC, specifically with the fact that ESPN now is going to have complete exclusive control over the college football playoffs in terms of televising it until 2031. So interesting stuff. I'm surprised that it happened.
Yeah. Plus, I mean, on top of that, you mentioned about the merging of some of the conferences. I'm already not happy the way the landscape of college football is going with the merging of the conferences as they are.
I am. I'm happy with it.
All these teams leaving, and it's just, I don't know. I'm gonna miss the rivalries. It's gonna be hard to see who's the best of this conference or that conference, because they're gonna have 32 teams in this conference, 32 teams in that conference, 12 over here, 7 over there. It's just, I don't know. This is what we in now. So I mean, NIL deals, it's all about the money. So that's what it's all about right now, and that's why ESPN is going to be taking the stranglehold on it. Just hopefully they'll be able to divvy up the funds for all the other conferences like they have for the SEC. Now, don't get me wrong. The other conferences do have to hold their own when they do play other teams, and they have to handle business as well to make themselves profitable, marketable, and whatnot. But to act like every team in the SEC is just world beater is just crazy to me.
As far as what you're going to miss, build a bridge, get over it. So I do believe that this is going to affect the college football alignment, though, to some extent. I think, and it's been suggested over the last, I would say, 18 months that what's inevitably coming is 2 power conferences, where those 2 power conferences will end up breaking off. Now, who's going to end up being in those 2 power conferences? We know the majority of the teams that are going to be there. The last domino to fall is really the ACC, and at some point we'll talk about that. But really, those name recognized or those brands that have the most name recognition that still remaining that should end up in 2 of those conferences are Notre Dame, Florida State, UNC, and I think that's about it. So we'll see what ends up happening with the rest of those and Miami. Miami should be in there as well. You guys tell us what you think in regards to ESPN now having exclusive control, or continuing to have exclusive control all the way to 2031. Massive deal. Fox is not in or at the table for whatever reason. Maybe there'll be some additional information that comes out later, but we'll see. Don't forget to hate, like, comment, and subscribe. This is AM Sports Cover 4, and we are out.